Hello ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 31st episode of Final Round. As always, I'm Black Squeak and this ginger Jew is Alan Gibby Gibson.
Tonight will be our thoughts of UFC 102. And considering we really weren't expecting big things apart from the two main events, we are surprised that it was actually pretty good.
Now normally on Final Round we don't discuss prelim fights, which is one reason why YouTube user is in the Go Fuck Yourself Hall of Fame. But the Final Round crew couldn't leave out the prelim fight between Tom Hag and Todd Duffy. Duffy set a new record for the fastest knockout in UFC history, destroying Tom Hag in 7 seconds.
Duffy showed his strength, while Hag showed his retardedness. Who the hell leaves their arms wide open for anything to hit him with? It's Hag's own fault for that loss, but this is the perfect start to Duffy's UFC career.
Now let's go on to the pay-per-view fights with Brandon Vera and Krzysztof Soszyński. Everyone here is in agreement that this fight was just simply the case that Vera was too much quality for Soszyński to handle.
You pretty much hit the nail on the head, like when you put your dick up another guy's ass. Vera was too much for the polish experiment. Vera has finally got momentum going on his side after a terrible 2008 and 7 with fights. I think he'll gradually step up the ladder though, possibly maybe getting the likes Thiago Silva or Matt Hamill eventually. Soszyński shouldn't take this loss bad. He did give his best shot, but the truth is just too much to handle for the pole.
Now onto the fight between Nate the Great Marquardt and Demian Maia. Maia, one of the latest brightest prospects of the UFC with his lethal submissions and unbeaten record, got destroyed in 21 seconds by a huge punch from Nate. Maia didn't know what hit him, and Nate ended the streak of who many believed was a contender for Anderson Silva's title.
This was a huge win for Nate. He defeated a very popular fighter easily, and in very quick time. His game plan went to perfection, in utilizing his strength and shots. Does he deserve another shot at Silva? I don't know, but does he deserve to be in the #1 contenders match? Who against? That could either winner of Bisping in his fight, which is rumored to be Dennis Kang, or Vanderlei Silva.
Right, you ginger prick, before we talk about this next fight. No more fucking sick jokes about the other crippler, like you did in our predictions. You got a lot of people pissed off about that.
All I'll say, you whiny queer cunt, is that I found it very ironic that the crippler, someone very famous for choking certain people and family members out, got choked out himself out.
I really should rip your dick off and feed it to dogs. You're such a dick. But anyways, Jake Rosholt caused an upset with a huge third-round submission win over Chris Leben. Rosholt was the better fighter in the first round, did well to almost get the submission in. Leben came back in round 2, but it'd be Rosholt again with the submission to get the huge win. Again, another great start for a UFC debutant. Now onto the sub-main event of the evening between Thiago Silva and Keith Jardine. Again, it didn't last long, but Silva showed that he is still lethal as ever with a huge knockout win over Jardine. Jardine got a good heavy kick to start things off, and was a even fight till Silva caught Jardine with a lethal punch.
Silva needed a win bad after suffering his first loss to Machida. That fight was going to elevate the winner to new heights, which you see with Machida. This win will secure more big-name fights for Silva and maybe give him the same fortune as Machida. I've never doubted Silva's abilities after his loss, and they weren't further doubted after this fight.
As for what happens with Jardine, I don't know. He may get the likes of Forrest Griffin again, but as much as I like Jardine, this loss will hurt him bad. Jardine started this fight well, but the punch just killed him. Silva is one tough fucker though, and I predict he'll get a big named fight next like you said.
Only time will tell to see where those two crazy fuckers go next.
Now onto the main event between Antonio Minotauro Nogueira and Randy the Natural Couture. A huge, fiery fueled fight with everyone behind it from the very start. It was an awesome fight to watch, and these legends showed how tough they still are.
I got nothing but praise for both fighters. They both were awesome despite their age. This was easily Minotauro's best fight I've seen in the UFC. I've said this before, I've not been impressed with Minotauro in the UFC. But this fight can finally start to prove critics like me wrong. He has to keep this up. My only prob was that Minotauro should have ended it in first round when he knocked Couture down. He should have kept punching instead of going for the anaconda choke.
This now gives us fans the dilemma of who's next for both fighters. We say both, because Randy has signed a new UFC deal. What do you think, Ginger Pubes?
For Minotauro, he'll be in the next #1 contenders match. I just have this funny feeling that he'll get Mirko Cro Cop if Cro Cop beats Dos Santos. Which, as much as it's been done before, would be an instant classic. As for Couture, I got no idea whatsoever. Frank Mir has Congo, Gonzaga's just fought on the same show, Velasquez isn't really a star-studded fight that detract him. I just feel he'll drop back to light heavyweight.
All we know is that after signing a new 6-fight deal with the UFC, this won't be the last we see of the natural. That is it for us today. We'll be back for UFC 103 review and 104 predictions. See you all later.